Hello, my Zentangle friends. Welcome to Not Perfect Zen. I am Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and I am continuing with the Inktober Tangles. And today is day 16, Moonesque by Leslee Feiwus, CZT. And zoom in on this a little. Before I forget, I want to tell you that she does have a video in Facebook. I'm not sure if she has it on YouTube. When you go to the link to the step outs that's in the description, in the PDF that comes from Stephanie Jennifer, it links you to her video, but there is a step out in tanglepatterns.com, and I will try to remember to put both of those in the description for this video. Before I forget, I'll be using a Micron 01, a graphite pencil, and a blending stump for this. And these are the basic patterns. It's just a simple grid, and then there are a couple of different ways that she actually shows even the basic pattern. When she does the video, she does it a little bit different, and I'm going to show you that. And then these are variations that actually came from Leslee in her video. So I'm going to show you the basics of how to do this, and then I'm going to do a tile that's a little bit different. Hopefully you'll like it. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this right here is just like this section. Okay, so what I'm going to show you how she teaches it. Excuse me. So she has you within your string. So she does that in pencil. And she makes these rectangular auras inside the pencil grid. She also shows an option where you could do your grid also in pen. Okay, so you could go ahead and outline this in pen if you wanted to. Okay, so what I want to show you is how to do this one. And she finds the center, and then think of this being as just a quarter of an orb or a quarter of a circle. So we're just going to curve, and we're going to end up in that corner. Okay, and then we're going to turn it and do the same way. And this is just the easiest way for me to do it, just to turn it. Okay, and it's not a perfect quarter circle, but it works. Okay, and then she does an aura, sorry, I almost said orb. She does an aura that comes up like that. Okay, and then she repeats it below that. But what I want to show you is the difference in what she has in her step out and what she does on her video. Okay, so for the actual step out, she finds this center, and I'm just going to put the dot there, and I'm going to bring my quarter circle down, but I'm going to bring it right next to that point. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So a little bit over from that, I'm going to make my quarter circle, and it goes to that corner. Now when I do my aura, I'm starting in that center point. I'm coming back. And same thing here. I'm going to start at that center point and bring that around. So, see the difference? So the real difference is just right down here where those meet. You can do it this way, or you can do it that way. And the way I'm going to teach you on my disc, or on my tile, I'm sorry. The way I'm going to teach you on my tile is this way. Okay. But again, I noticed that when I was going through her video and her step outs yesterday, that there was that little bit of difference. And it's your choice, but didn't want that to be confusing to you if you watched her video and looked at her step outs. Okay, so this is my 4-inch by 4.5-inch tile that I'm going to use, and I'm going to start by doing my best to create a square on here. And it's easier for me if I just go ahead and do that first line. It doesn't have to be perfect. But at least with the pencil, you can kind of adjust this as needed. Okay, I just want to make that an actual straight line. And erase a little bit of this. Okay, so just a square, and then I'm going to divide that square in half, and then divide this in half again. This is a grid tangle. I guess you've already figured that part out. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it and divide this whole thing in half again. And I can see that it gets kind of fatter as it goes down, but it's okay. All right, so I am going to, again, do this in mine, and we're going to start by putting a grid, I'm sorry, not a grid, putting an aura inside our boxes, our rectangles. Okay, I'll try to not take too much time just making rectangles. But this is one that's easy to follow along if you want to. My spacing between these will not be perfect, as you can already see. I tried to find more examples of what other people
had done with this pattern, but I didn't see much. This one is just so fat at the bottom. I'm not going to do it that big. Sorry, I'm going to try to make this a little bit closer to what's above it. Okay. Okay, so there's our pencil grid and our basic start. And she kind of puts a dot in the center, and it does help. And then I'm going to start from this corner and make my quarter circle and have it come down to here. And then I'm going to start from there and go to this corner. That's the easiest way for me to do it. And they're not perfectly even, and that doesn't matter. And then I'm going to add the aura. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the one below it. So you see how this is going to work. So I found the center point, which should kind of line up with that one. And do my circle, quarter circle. Do one on this side that goes to the corner. And then that way. So we're going to do that in each one of these blocks. And I'm going to try to make it not be too painful as far as slow watching me do these. But once you figure out the first two rectangles, then it's easy to do. Okay, and then your little aura on this V. And so now this is where you get the Moonesque look to it. All right, I'm going to jump down to this one, and it's going to be the same as this. So these are mirrored. Okay, so this is a mirror of that one. Here's my center point. And it does look better if you have it rounded like a quarter of a circle, but mine are not all the same, and it's okay. We're not ever looking for perfection. We're just enjoying the tangle time. All right, again, this one is a mirror of that one. So I'm going to come down here. It's going to be just like that. Just circle to the center. And now adding my aura. And then the same thing here. It just helps if you have a point to focus on when you're making your quarter circle. Okay, excuse me. This is the basic tangle. And what she did in the basic pattern, I'm not going to do that yet, was that she just put the shading on the inside. So from this point forward, you could put patterns inside of these
little triangle areas. Like on this one, she actually filled in the spot in between this open area between the rectangles. She filled that in. You could put patterns. There's lots of things that you could do. So I'm going to do kind of a combination now of not exactly this one, but similar. Well, I guess closer to this. So we're going to do kind of a combination of this and this. And to do the inside of these circles, I'm going to start by just making a line here, and then I'm going to put two more here and here, and then same in this wedge. So it's kind of like slicing a pie in little slices. And then I'm going to just add weighting at the top. So it's just almost a straight line to thicken where these touch. Okay, very simple. Do the same thing here. Straight line. And divide this up to put two more in this side. Two more in this side. Trying to come straight down, I didn't do it. It's okay. All right. You could, if you wanted, add a little bit right here also. I'm going to turn this around and do this side. Now add the weighting. All right, and what I'm going to do, okay, let's go and do this one. Sorry. So they match. 1, 2, 3. Almost looks like orange slices, doesn't it? Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is just repeat that aura coming up. Same thing on this side. Okay, and it'll really look better after we do the shading. All right, I'm going to do these. All right, so we're just adding dividing lines. We're slicing the pie.
And then add our weighting here at the top. Yep, I didn't do it over there, did I? And I want to show you real quick on these. The way I'm doing it is just adding the weighting at the top, but you could make it even more rounded like this. Okay, and then when you fill that in, it looks a little bit more like a petal. Okay, so 2 different ways to do that. You can see the difference. I like to do this weighting, and that's weighting, that kind of weighting. I know it. Ghtting. Okay, so that's what that is. I never know how YouTube is going to interpret what I say, but I'm very grateful that they do the closed captioning. Sometimes it's pretty funny what comes out. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, so we have half of it done. Right. I am going to finish this part. I'm going to pause the video, finish that part so that you don't have to watch what I just did again. Well, hold on. Let me do this. I wanted to finish part of it before I pause. And do the same thing down here. Okay, now we're halfway there. And I'm going to pause, do the same exact thing here, and then I'll be back and we'll do the shading. All right, it's magic. I'm done. So it definitely looks like orange or grapefruit slices to me, and it looks really busy. I'm gonna zoom out just a tiny bit and do the shading. So I'm going to start with my graphite pencil, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shading at the bottom of each of these little slices, and then also along the top edge where I added that weight. Okay, and then I'm also going to put a line of graphite down that center where each one of those little auras meet. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on each of these. It is in Houston right now. It is like 85 degrees outside, and to us that is just wonderful weather. It feels so good. Fall is here, but it's so difficult to enjoy sitting outside because the mosquitoes are so bad and they're so big. We have what they call mosquito hawks. They're not really any kind of hawk, and they don't eat mosquitoes, but they resemble mosquitoes, except they are at least an inch long. I mean, when they're flying, they're huge. And I just remember years ago when my grandfather came to visit, he went back home and told his friends that in the Houston area, the mosquitoes were big enough to carry lanterns. Again, we do have some big mosquitoes, but I've always thought that was so funny. Okay, so now I'm just softening in each of these areas where I added graphite. It's hard to believe I'm on day 16. I definitely enjoy a challenge like this. I don't know why, but I think because it makes me think. It makes me work on something, if that makes sense. Where if I don't have something like that, sometimes I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure what to work on. But with a challenge like Inktober, I know what I need to do. I need to learn the pattern for the day. I need to practice it and make a video. And I enjoy knowing what I need to do. I guess that's it. There's no guessing. I have heard some people comment that they don't know what to put on a tile. And even I get that way sometimes. I do have my tiles on little 2x2 things like this. Now I'm going to redo this one, but sometimes I take several tiles out and just kind of
You can throw them in a hat, throw them in a jar, and then just grab a couple and bring them out and try putting a tile together that way. There are also a couple of apps out there that will do that for you. One is by Eni Oken. Her name is Eni and Oken. And now I can't remember the name of the actual app, but I do have it on my phone. But if you just searched for her name, again, it's Eni Oken. Eni-Oken, and search for her name, her app should come up. And that's a fun one to use. I suppose you could just search for Zentangle in the App Store. We'll probably bring it up also. Okay, did I get them all? I think I did. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. I think that came out pretty cool. I wasn't sure how it was going to look when I added these, but I like it. Again, one of the things that you can do if you want is to fill in the spaces between these rectangles, like right here. You could darken that. If you wanted to, you could, like I said, these are pencil lines where I did the initial grid. You could fill that in if you wanted to. You could put different patterns in here from what I've done and different from what I've shown you on here. And like I said, what I've done here is kind of a combination of those two. So there you go. Moonesque by Leslee Feiwus, CZT. It's a fun grid pattern. And I really like these, but I didn't want you to have to watch me fill in all the dark spaces on there, but you can get an idea from looking at this as to how it would look. Beautiful tangle. I thank you guys for watching me again. I'm so extremely grateful for those of you who have donated to help support my channel through the Ko-fi link in my description. That's ko-fi. Extremely grateful for your comments. I tell you, you guys are the best. I just love reading your comments. I love doing this for you, and I'm so glad that you enjoy it. I hope you will join me again tomorrow. The pattern is Ecstatic by Jim Miller. Have a good day. Be safe. Be well. And I will see you next time. Bye.